Have you ever looked at someone and felt like there's more to their story than what they show the world? For years, fans have watched Brian Okwara dominate Nollywood screens, calm, confident, always in control. But recently, something changed. A look, a statement, a moment that didn't quite add up. And now, people are starting to ask questions. What exactly has Brian Okwara been hiding from fans all this time? Stay with me, because what we're about to uncover might completely change the way you see him. Brian Okwara has always carried himself differently. From his early days in the spotlight, he built an image that many admired, composed, private, and almost untouchable. Unlike many celebrities who constantly share their lives online, Brian chose a different path. No unnecessary drama. No oversharing. Just work and silence. At first, fans respected this. It made him look disciplined, focused. But over time, that silence started to feel like something else. Something intentional. Because in an industry where everyone is talking, posting, and revealing everything, Brian Okwara stayed quiet. Too quiet. It didn't happen all at once. It was small things, moments that most people would ignore. But fans notice everything. There were interviews where he paused before answering certain questions. Scenes where his emotional reactions felt a little too real. And then those moments with his co-stars. The chemistry. The intensity. The way he connects on screen, it doesn't always feel like acting. And fans began to wonder, is Brian Okwara just that good of an actor? Or is there something deeper behind those performances? Let's be honest. Whenever Brian Okwara appears alongside certain actresses, the conversation changes. Fans don't just watch the movie, they analyze it. They replay scenes. They zoom in on expressions. They read meanings into every glance. Because sometimes it feels real. Too real. And while Brian has never openly confirmed anything, he has never fully denied the speculations either. That silence, it's what fuels everything. Because when a public figure refuses to clarify, people start creating their own answers. Being Brian Okwara isn't as simple as it looks. There's pressure. Pressure to maintain an image. Pressure to meet expectations. Pressure to stay in control, even when things are. And sometimes, when someone appears too perfect, it raises suspicion. Because no one is that composed all the time. So the question becomes, is Brian Okwara hiding something? Or is he protecting something? Recently, something shifted. In a subtle but powerful moment, Brian said something that caught fans off guard. Not a full confession. Not a clear statement. But enough to make people pause. It wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. The tone. The expression. The emotion behind the words. For the first time, it felt like the wall he built was starting to crack. And fans immediately picked up on it. Social media reactions exploded. People started connecting dots. Old interviews resurfaced. And suddenly the narrative began to change. So what exactly could Brian Okwara be hiding? Is it a relationship he's keeping private? A personal struggle he's not ready to share? Or simply the fact that he's more emotional, more vulnerable than he lets the world see? Because sometimes what celebrities hide isn't scandal. It's humanity. And maybe, just maybe, Brian Okwara isn't hiding something shocking. Maybe he's just choosing what parts of himself the world gets to see. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Brian Okwara is hiding something from fans? Or do you think people are just overanalyzing everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite celebrities. Because sometimes, the real story isn't what we see. It's what's being kept hidden. Have you ever noticed how some people can say so much, without really saying anything at all? That's the effect Brian Okwara has had on fans for years. The calm presence, the controlled words, the carefully measured appearances. On the surface, everything seems simple. But the longer people watch him, the more that simplicity starts to feel layered. Because when someone maintains that level of control for so long, it naturally raises a question: what's happening beneath it? If you go back and really pay attention, you'll start to notice patterns. In interviews, Brian doesn't rush his answers. He pauses, not in a confused way, but in a deliberate, almost calculated way. Like someone choosing each word carefully, making sure nothing slips out unintentionally. That kind of behavior doesn't come from nowhere. It often comes from someone who understands how quickly narratives can change in the public eye. One wrong sentence, one misunderstood comment, and suddenly everything you've built starts to shift. So instead he keeps things tight, controlled, minimal. But here where it gets interesting. Because while his words are controlled, his performances are not. On screen, Brian Okwara transforms. The same person who seems reserved in interviews suddenly becomes expressive, emotional, deeply connected to the characters he plays. And it's not just good acting, it's convincing in a way that feels personal. There are scenes where his reactions don't feel rehearsed, they feel lived in, like he's pulling from something real. And that contrast is what has fans talking. How can someone be so guarded in real life, yet so open on screen? That's where the theories begin. Some people believe that acting is his outlet, a space where he can express emotions he chooses not to show publicly. Others think it goes deeper, that certain roles hit close to home, and that's why the chemistry feels so natural, so effortless. Especially when it comes to his co-stars. Because let's be real, chemistry like that doesn't go unnoticed. There have been moments in films where the connection between Brian and his co-stars feels almost too perfect. The timing, the eye contact, the subtle expressions, it creates an illusion that's hard to separate from reality. Fans pick up on that instantly. And once they do, everything becomes a clue. A smile becomes meaningful. A glance becomes intentional. A scene becomes evidence. And the more Brian chooses not to address it directly, the more those interpretations grow. But silence can mean many things. It could mean there's something to hide. Or it could mean there's something worth protecting. Because in an industry like Nollywood, where attention